All of my worship, receive my worship. All of my worship. Sing it out. Here's my and I will not lift it up.
Beautiful, beautiful. Good morning, everyone. Beautiful. I have over 4 persons currently live. Okay. Beautiful. Please confirm that you can hear my voice, everyone. So we'll begin this. All right. Beautiful. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everyone. Merry Christmas to everyone. Happy New Year. I'll have to repeat some of the things I said yesterday as I consider those things very important. We have over 84 persons, over 70 persons in the live, rather, and this has been recorded. So for people that can't attend live, you'll be able to watch it again. Okay, so alright, so I just need 1 or 2 persons to confirm that you can hear my voice very clearly. I use a very good microphone, so I don't think that should be an issue, but just in case there are persons that can hear me, so just please use the chat room to convey to me. We'll always be looking at the chat room. It's just for questions and all of that. All right. Happy holidays, cryptic creep. Although that name is funny. Right. So. Okay, beautiful. So, where do I start from? I hope that people will watch the first and the second live session and are currently in this live, so they can ask me their questions. But before then, I'm going to repeat some of the things I said yesterday, even though most likely it won't be word for word, but this coming. Mohammed, is that for me or for? Oh, okay, that's for people that are watching. So if you can hear me clearly, you can always increase the volume by clicking on the right button on the stream. Let me forward this to the main channel, so just in case there are people that, okay, yep, right. So it's a new season. We have just about 4 days to end the year, and I need this to go on record. So I want to say some things. Yeah, I had goals for 2023. I think that's one thing I said yesterday, and I had goals for 2023. I'm sure a lot of people, some of you, may have started this year with a lot of goals. and you may have even not achieved any one of them. Okay, and trading is a very crazy venture. Yeah. um, Trading is a very crazy venture, but if learned properly, it can change your story within a year. Yeah, yeah, within a year. um, the issue for mature minds, okay, the issue really is not about buying the Bugatti and the Lamborghini and things like that. The issue really is financial freedom. When you see anyone that has money and is trying to show off, really that person doesn't have as much, because there is so much settlement in having so much that you don't even need to prove a point. And the majority of Twitter, are given to that. Now, I might also say that people that show off don't necessarily have the money, not necessarily, but it doesn't in any way show maturity. Besides, can it help you better at trading? No, it can't. All right. You want to see executions? You want to see live executions? At least my last trade for the year as well, you saw how I got in on those trades, and I'm going to explain it here because everyone was expecting price to come to this point, but till now price had not gone back, and we're currently within the fair value gap on the weekly, right? And what will help you as a trader? Okay, what will help you as a trader is education. You're seeing the same things play out over again. You can apply to your charts. I challenge you to go as far back as the 2000, 2001, 2002 on your daily time frame, 2003, 2004, 2005, 2006, 2007, just DXY alone, 2008, 2009, 2010 till 2023, and you will see how the market has always booked on the same things. Now, when we say things like this, it is just to reiterate to you that price is same across board. The same things pan out over again, okay? And you really just need to understand the simple things you need to focus on. Now, I've had people learn Michael and it took them 5 years before they understood it. I've also had people learn Michael's understanding of price and it took them 2 years. I've also had people that it took them 7 years. But the major issue is that they stayed grinding, they stayed working, and that's where most people struggle to persist. They struggle to persist in that lane, and so we have quite a number of people started the year with so many goals, including myself. I had goals too, okay, but some of you have not achieved your goals, and some of you may even be considering quitting. Also, the majority of you as well may be learning trading, but not necessarily learning it in the right way. And so you feel that you've given so much time to trading, but if I just ask some simple questions here and there as to how you have been practicing, been studying, you may have been failing in very key things that you shouldn't be failing at, which eventually takes the intended goal far away from you. Yeah, because if trading is going to give me financial freedom, which it has personally, what will be 4 years? What will be 5 years? What will be 6 years in the light of so many years of financial freedom. Will those number of years matter to me? Because once I get it right, yeah, I'll forget all my past. Once I get it right, I'll be forever grateful. So one major issue is that a lot of people are not persevering. A lot of people are not focused. I did a tweet sometimes in the year about focus. And now that a large number of people lack focus, and it's very, very telling, because everyone is trying to say something, and so because you're trying to be there, you're trying to be what everyone is saying, to understand what everyone is saying, so eventually it gives you a good perspective. I just shared the link of the post I did about focus. I inspired by Rainer Theo, but something even from observation, you just see that quite a number of people are not focused. When I tell you that the market books on these very simple things, you've never seen me mention about standard deviation, not because I don't know about it. You've never seen me talk about many of these ICT lingos that you see on Twitter, because not because I don't know about it, but what's the goal? What's my joy if I tell you so many things to show that I know so many things, or I teach you just the very basics that get you knowledgeable about the market? Which would you prefer? Which would you prefer? I'm sure you're going to prefer to just be able to understand price in its simplicity. However, that simplicity came through several years of hard work with a whole lot of data, backtesting a whole lot of data. Yeah, backtesting a whole lot of data. It didn't come easy. Yeah, but I can do that today with ease. I really don't need to see what is on here. I just need to see a chart, a candlestick chart, and I can tell you the direction where price is going to, just from the technicals. Why? Because I took time in backtesting. I took time in studying, even when it wasn't making sense. I think I told my story. I've lost 250,000 USD in personal funds and 750,000 USD in company funds. One of the wealth management firm I worked for, I was given $2 million at the time. I bumped up 750. Yeah. Interestingly, we still work together today. For some reason, they still kept me. They saw my potential, and yeah, today we're good. We're looking for higher figures. We're looking at higher figures actually. Okay, and but all those periods, I felt like shit. I actually felt like committing suicide. Okay, but one thing I kept holding on to is that a lot of people have made money from this. There's some things I'm not doing rightly. Okay, I didn't push my failures to the market, because the market doesn't know me from anywhere. Okay, and so I stayed on learning. It wasn't easy, because this is not one of those grass to grace stories just to motivate you. I'm still grinding, man. I'm still working hard. You get my point? I'm just trying to tell you that it is worth fighting for. 2024 is another year. Okay, it's worth fighting for. So even if you've been here on this 10 years and you've not gotten it right, it's not a reason to quit. I'm going to tell you something. Squid Game, in 2021, Squid Game. Squid Game came and blew everywhere. I remember watching Squid Game. I finished watching the all episodes of the season 1 in a single watch because I was captivated by the story. But if I'm going to tell you that the producer, it took 12 years before someone literally believed in that script. 12 years. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4. 12 years. So that means that for all the while that the script was being held by the owner of the movie, he was trying to convince people to invest in that movie for 12 years before producing that movie. Now the movie is all over the place. When it came out, it was all over the place. A lot of people watched it. It made sense. A very good movie. Now the second season is going to come out 2024. They were so confident to give it such span, 3 years. It's going to come out 2024, the latter part of next year. But the man had to wait 12 years to produce the first script. And so the mistake people make as well is that they try to compare themselves. They try to compare themselves with other people. What is happening? Why am I not making it? Why am I making it? You know, the truth is that you will not make it that way because you're going to be pressured internally to even study the way you ought to. Today, I'm a blessed man. Today, I've produced a lot of people that are making good money for themselves. Today, from these same basics that... Now, when I say basic, I'm literally not downsizing people who use all the complexity of... No, I just believe in keeping things simple. Besides, if you're able to simplify things well enough, it means that you understand it well enough to be able to simplify it. And that's my story today. 2024 is a year where we have the advent of prop firms. Started from the 20s, 2020, 2021. Today they are rampant. A whole lot of prop firms you can choose from. I personally don't believe in the system prop firms, but I'm also a massive believer of using that vehicle to build your capital. Okay? And as you're making money, the goal is that you're converting those money, all right, to having more capital in your personal trading account. Now, in either your personal trading account or in your wallet, not to trade it. Now, imagine someone who has $100,000 live cash. Okay, a trader has $100,000. I rather advise that trader. Okay, I rather advise the trader to buy a prop account for $500. Okay, and you will be left with $99,500. And when you pass that prop account, each money you make on that prop account, you keep adding it to your capital. So you've reduced risks greatly, and you still an avenue to make money. Why don't I believe in the prop system? I've always said it and will always maintain. You know, it's okay to know the truth about something and yet still maximize it for your own good. But you don't tell yourself a lie because something is paying you. The fact that it's paying you doesn't mean that the system is sustainable. Because if we have a higher win rate among the traders trading prop, most of them they're going to pack up. Now, I did a very simple analysis yesterday. We were not able to complete the live because of some technicals that are fixed already. And I said, if we have 10,000 traders, whilst I'm talking, I implore you to just hold your calculator. As a trader, you always have a calculator, not your phone, a proper calculator. Sometimes you want to do calculations and you want to stay on your MT4, placing trades whilst calculating 1 or 2. So you need a proper calculator. I have a Casio calculator here with me, so it does a good job. So let's say we have 10,000 traders. They apply to buy a $500 100K demo account. 100K demo account for $500. That's 10,000 by 500. That gives us 5 million. So $5 million is the revenue for the company. So let's say X prop company. So they made $5 million from giving 10,000 traders 100K account. So let's just assume that those traders are very good traders and 50% were able to make it up to funded. 50% means 5,000 winning traders. If 5,000 winning traders, just follow me on my calculation. So we have 5,000 winning traders that made it funded. Now, if all those 5,000 winning traders are just able to generate 5% of their $100K, 100K demo account, because you must always remember that they are not giving you real funds. It's a demo account. Okay, 100K demo account made it funded. So from those 5K traders, if they make 5% of that 100K demo account, follow me, that means that from the 100K they made 5%. That's $5K. $5K, if they pay you 80% of that, that's 4K. So that means they're going to pay $4,000 to 5,000 different traders across the world. Now, if they pay $4K to 5,000 traders across the world, that's 4,000 by 5,000. That's $20 million. So they gave you demo account and you paid $500 for that demo account, and you just made 5%. Half of those traders made it funded, and they made 5% on their first funded account, the first month. I even forgot to add, it is said that they refund back the amount used to buy the account. So $4,000 that you're paying you back plus your $500 you used to buy the account. So ideally 4.5 by 5,000. 4.5 by 5,000. That is $22.5 million. $22.5 million. If the prop firm, ex-prop firm in this case, started with $5 million in revenue, and they're to pay $22.5 million out, that's going to be a deficit of $17.5 million. Where should they get that money? Now, can you see how it's a Ponzi scheme? It is heavily dependent on you losing. So even though it pays you, you must be able to tell that it's a Ponzi scheme that may necessarily not last for long. All right? But just because it's the market, a lot of traders, emotional bound, they don't have rules and things like that. So most times you would see people, lose. And that's why prop firms even start out today, and they don't even try to do marketing to beg you to use your firm. They rather will give you a free account. Come use our firm, come test and see what we do here. And they will just have some money, and so after they've given out some accounts, then the next thing will be to start doing a lot of marketing to sell. So it's okay to use the prop to build capital whilst it lasts, but recognize that it's not a sustainable system. So there's no bad blood, okay? There's none. All right. Even personally, I would advise someone. I trade institutional money. I trade large funds in that sense. Okay. So if I have a blood brother today that's trading, I would rather, and he has 100K USD, I'd rather advise him, rather than expose your 100K USD, get a prop. Okay, get a prop. $500, you get the same 100K. Just pass their requirements, and you keep making money from there, and keep using it to build your capital till the prop is no more in existence. I don't know if they're going to be in existence for a long time or not, but it's not a sustainable system. And anything that isn't sustainable doesn't last. It's just the way there are foundations. Things that are not built on the right foundation doesn't last. Do you get my point? That's just what I'm trying to say. Now, we just used 5% of scale. If those traders make 7%, 10%, 20%, 30%, you see that's more trouble for the prop firm. Each traders, 5,000 traders. If they make an average of 10%, That's $10,000. If the company needs to pay back, they're paying $8,000 to the traders. 8,000 by 5,000 traders, that's $40 million. Where is the profit going to see that? Do you see how that is not a sustainable system? Exactly. But it doesn't change the fact that you can take advantage of that. You can take advantage of that structure. All right? You can take advantage of it. But it's okay to also know that it's not a sustainable system. It's a Ponzi scheme. All right? So 2024 is another year to make good of the year. We have never been in a better time to be a trader today. You don't need to start looking for money. You don't need to start looking for investors and all of that. You have the props. The only thing that you need is to master the game, master the craft. Have some balls. Learn this as though your life depends on it. So, back to what I was saying, that even if you spend 10 years in this industry and it seems as though nothing is working, I don't think that it's enough reason to quit. I don't think it's enough reason, because the possibility in this space, in this field, is way enormous compared to what you get anywhere else. You need to make up your mind next year that you would not be a reckless trader. You need to make up your mind next year that you're going to be a disciplined trader. And one of the books I always advise, I personally have told my students, and I think I should mention it here as well, that every January of every year, you can always use that to read Mark Douglas, Trading in the Zone, and The Disciplined Trader. Remind yourself again of the same things. Alright? Remind yourself of the same things in the trading space. Probabilistic mindset. Yes. ICT methodology. Yes, it never fails. Yes. But you need that probabilistic mindset. You need that probabilistic mindset that will keep you trading effectively. You need that probabilistic mindset that will keep you effectively in the game. That's what, even if you don't learn it now, you'll learn it later. That yes, you can be very sound with ICT methodology and still take losses back to back. Yeah, it does happen. Okay, and still take losses back to back. Yeah, it does happen. So a lot of people had goals for 2023. 2024 is by the corner, and what's going to change 2024 for you is your effort, the things you put into the year. Because the difference between the 31st of December and the 1st of January is just a second. The Gregorian calendar is what makes us give importance to a new year, a new day. But it's just another day. It's just another day. Okay, it's just another day. And so because it's just another day, all right, there should be a way that you see it. I'm sure you will have grown out of that, it's a childish mindset when we're very young. Oh, it's a new year and we are everywhere throwing bangers, fireworks and things like that. And I mean, go to celebrate, but it's a new year. What are you going to make of the new year? You open your eyes and close it, and January 31st is here. You open your eyes and close it again, February 29th is here. And on. March, April, May, June, mid-year. Before you know it, third quarter of the year is over, and we are in the last quarter of 2024 again. And on again, 2025. So how had the goal this year? I didn't meet the goal. Was I happy? Not necessarily. No, I wasn't. But am I grateful for where I am? Yes. Now, there's one of my senior colleague. He's actually a senior to me. He's a senior fund manager. And we work together. We were meant to... Yeah, this was a story I was telling yesterday that we couldn't continue. We're meant to... he proposed something to me. I haven't seen my work. He loved it. So he proposed a partnership deal for $2 billion pension fund, and it mentioned how that I was going to be managing it, but we're going to split it. We're going to have the business splitted 50-50%. That was a huge deal for me, because he's the one that has the network. He has the access to all this men. He's a German. He's very good, okay, and he has a network of clients. But we're going to the pensioners, and $2 billion, if you understand how pension funds work, is a very small money. And pension funds could go as much as $10 trillion, US alone, several trillions of dollars in pension funds. Now, their requirement really was just to produce 30% a year. Yeah, I mean, you need to open your mind, because there is really money where there is money. Okay, the real issue is here: how good will you make yourself to be able to move the market and make good money? You don't need to make crazy returns. Now, it's a bull season for crypto. A lot of people are making a lot of money. You see times 100, you see times 10,000, you see times 15,000, you see times 200. Okay, that's not the reality in actual sense. All right, you can make that in crypto, but you can't bet on something that is consistent. For something that is consistent and you can rinse and repeat all over again, there's no limit. Michael took 100K to $1 million within 3 days with the same methodology. All right, there's no limit. Let me continue my story. So the goal was that in commissions alone. Now, commission is more or less what they pay us, a management fee rather, what they pay us before we start managing the money. So he told me that all I need to do is just to produce 30% a year, and they're very good with it, and they will increase the money and increase the money. So for the $2 billion deal, we're going to be paid within $80 to $100 million in management fee before we start the deal. It seems as though I'm talking to myself now. I'm sure I'm not, but just to be sure, just one or two persons just message in the chat room to be sure you can hear me still clearly and all of that. So if they were going to pay $80 million, that means that we're going to be paid $40 million. I was going to be paid $40 million. A very good jet today costs $7 million. To manage a jet today, how do I know this? Because yes, I've made inquiries, because I plan to get one soon. $7 million to manage a jet, okay, in a month, it will cost you about $100,000 for the whole thing, $100,000 to $150,000 monthly. Okay, just to store it, pack it, maintenance, and all of that. Okay, if we're going to be paid $100 million, $50 million we're going to pay to me. There's no way you want to travel to in the world. Andrew Tate said that if you have $20 million, there's literally nowhere you can't go to in the world. Literally nowhere, and given the best of service. Now, friends, I'm telling you, this is still with the same scale. Now, I wasn't happy because we were not able to pull off the deal, but I'm looking towards 2024, all right? And the deal is still on the table, actually, because we still communicate, we still talk. Now, this was my objective for 2023. Some of my committee members will remember me saying this at some point, that we're working on a deal, something like that. But 2024, I'm looking forward to this and more. Now, the same way, I don't know how to say I need to be in Wisdom's podcast. I don't know how to pull that off. Besides, I think I like my anonymity. I like to stay anonymous. If there's a way the podcast can be held without me showing my face, I would prefer that. Or I could also show my face and wear my mask. Okay, I'm going to be showing my face from next year, but I'm going to have a mask on. Okay, I just have my mask on and things like that. I really don't like the spotlight, and I prefer it that way. You say smart man. Yeah, it's just for my safety, for my security. And besides, once your face is out there, there's a lot of expectations about you. I think I just like to be in the shadows and live my life peacefully. So I prefer that. All right. So those were my expectations for last year. I'm sure you as well had expectations for last year. For this current year rather. Those were my expectations for this current year. I'm sure you as well had expectations for this year that you were not able to achieve. Okay. Some of you may just be putting consistently, $1,000 every month. That may be your expectation, right? But I look back at the market. I see the same things play out day in, day out, week in, week out. And there's just one thing that I keep saying it. I'm very grateful to Michael. Some days I just look and I really can't place it, but I'm extremely grateful. Michael has changed my life, really, for the same things that I see day in, day out, week in, week out. You go back to 1990, 1984, 1985. You see, this is 1985. Look at how the price came back to the fair value gap before selling off. 1985, July 1, 1985. This was July 1985. Okay, see how price respected this fair value gap. 1986, February 3, 1986. See how price came back. Let me zoom in so you can see what I'm saying. See how price came back to fill this fair value gap before continuing selling. See how price came back here again to fill this fair value gap before continuing selling. See how price came back to fill this fair value gap into the other block before buying up. The same things. If only you can just take your time to backtest. When you do this, what you're doing is that you're strengthening your conviction. Before the rally to the upside, look at how price came to clear this trend line phantom into this fair value gap. All right. The same things before buying. In the continued move, you see how price as well came to take this fair value gap. 1999. Can you see it? 1999. Can you see it? The same things playing out. And if you can read price like this, you made. That's it. You made. Internal liquidity, external liquidity. Internal liquidity, fair value gaps, volume imbalances. External liquidity, old highs and old lows. That's all you need. And most times when people can put these things together, sometimes they could put these things together, but there's no patience to see it happen. There's not. Okay? The same things over and over and over and over and over again. And look at where we currently are now. We're selling. I have a thesis personally that this was a consolidation, and this was a consolidation to the upside, and once we take this low, price is going to come take all of this. You can see sell side liquidity. All right. But because I'm not an investor, I'm a trader. Whilst I have my long-term perspective, you can see my sell side liquidity at the point here. I have not started talking about chart yet, but whilst I have that in view, the beauty of trading price into the fair value gap on the monthly and price selling back down, okay, and all of that, I wouldn't trade that for anything else. And that's for one reason I'm very grateful to Michael for the thing he has revealed to the trading space. So if there's anything in 2024 that you want to ensure you're better at, you want to ensure that you're leveling up in understanding the basics, reduce distractions as much as possible. All right, if very possible, have few people you're following. Okay, stay clear of social media until you have achieved your goals. The best of traders, okay, and not on the social media. The best of traders that handle big money, yes. You know, it will be very strange when a trader online tells you he's handling, for example, now once we get this deal, which I know we're going to get it, and I post on Twitter that I'm managing $2 billion. I never will do that, by the way, but I posted on Twitter that I'm managing $2 billion. No one will believe me, or the majority of the Twitter community won't believe me. In fact, some of you here won't believe me, but I don't need to do that. I'm too smart for all of that. Okay? Me telling you doesn't change anything in your trading game. As well, me not telling you as well doesn't change anything in your trading game. So it's better not to tell you that information. I'm okay, doing fine, peaceful. That's all I need. And then at best, keep putting out educational content that will help your trading game. All right? A lot of people that are not on social media and are making a large sum of money. In fact, part of the NDAs that come with working with these top firms comes with being anonymous. That is, keeping a very low profile. So you see a lot of these big traders are anonymous on social media. You can't necessarily trace them. You can trace them to anywhere. And these folks are making a huge kill. We have a lot of noisemakers today. And one of the things that turns me off is when I see a trader, because of an assumed money he has made, becomes rude, becomes nasty. Most of those folks are just young teenagers or folks that are in their early 20s that have really not seen life and are trying to just, try to oppress everyone around them. But these are childish behavior, okay? Because you have something and you feel that you can talk to anyone anyhow because you are the next thing closest to, So there's a whole lot of opportunities out there. Trading is a field where if I come to this world again, I'm going to delve into it because the returns are crazy compared to the effort. I only need to just give 4 to 5 years of determined effort. Now, a lot of you didn't have a consistent practice of backtesting, and I've told you how to backtest. You go watch the live stream 1 and 2. I think I mentioned in some of the things we discussed. Backtesting is not difficult. Start from your monthly to your 1 hour 15 minutes and mark every PD array and screenshot at each point you're marking. I'll show you an example of how to backtest. All right. I'll just show you. I think I showed in the last one. I'll just show you. This is yours 30. Okay, and how price moved from this point to the upside, and you can see how I was writing. Show the chart, right? Show the chart, right? Show the chart, right? Show the chart. How price moved 4 hours, fractals on the hourly time frame, right? Show the chart. How price moved. You see, these things actually is not easy because having to draw the lines, put the arrows, screen grab it and post it just for learning, it's not easy. But this is really what will change your trading game, because if you don't have so much of these data, you're not going to be any better. All right, you can see screen grab again, show the chart, how price move sometimes. All right, I said understanding IRF is key. That's your greatest tool in the marketplace. Now add this with a stabilized psychological mentality and you have endless possibilities, my friend. Actually, I said this was over 1600 pips. This move alone, you just need a fair share of that for your week. 500 pips of that with 15 lot is $75,000. 500 pips with 150 lot is $750,000. 500 pips with 1500 lot is $7.5 million. Also, 500 pips with 1.5 lot is $7,500. Expand your mind for possibilities that lies in this space. And on like that. And that's how I backtest. Look at another example, cat JPY price action. What happened? I think in my decent weekly, exactly, very good. If you want to know how to backtest, go check my Twitter page and see my decent PA studies every week. I post that every week. Decent PA weekly studies. That is really how I backtest. All right, how price moved from this point to this point. All right, and I documented everything. All right, first he came to the order block, okay, and he gave this huge response, and at that point he showed that he really wanted to go higher. And at this point, where would I look for? I would target this high first. You see BSL, and all the move to the upside, he did all of that. Stopwatch, retraced back up and came back down. That's break of structure. Haven't done the stopwatch, okay, went back, changed the state of delivery, retraced back, and this was going to be your stops entry, okay, because if you, this is the 1 hour time frame. If you go to a 15-minute time frame, okay, you're going to see clearly. All right, and this was actually how it looked on the 1 hour time frame. Stopwatch, BMS, change state of delivery, retraced back, and rally to the upside. And this was how it looked on the 15-minute time frame. You can see now, okay, stopwatch, retraced up, came back down, and on like that. This is exactly how to backtest. You are going through the different time frames. You're seeing how you would have engaged, how you would have engaged price, what you would have done, what you would have done, or how you should have anticipated better. Some of you may have seen this played out live and you are afraid to take it. The more you backtest, the more you are able to, the more these things make sense to you. All right, the more you're able to put these things in proper perspective. Within the 5-minute structure, you can see price just came back to the 705 sweet spot OTE retracement level by Michael, right, and a rally to the upside. Stops, retracement, entry, stops, took the sell side, rally. That was a very good move. All right, and you can see deliver 3 hour that very same day. All right, this was the entry, 3 hour, okay. And I said if you held up, price already on 8.5 hour at current price, because price actually expanded higher. Now I don't expect you to not take profit anywhere from this high or that high, because that was enough. Okay, you will not all the time see 8.5 hour. In fact, 2 to 3 hour, and doing this consistently is how you make a kill in the market. If you're looking for 5 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours, most of the time you wouldn't get that. You wouldn't get that. All right, you wouldn't get that. All right, but price eventually provided 8.5 hour all the way from this point to this point. You can see how I carefully journaled the whole thing and I outlined it. Now, I'm not one of those mentors that I do inside stuff. My community members are currently on this live chat. You know, if I do any of that, they will tell you. Okay, I tell you where price is going to beforehand, and we look at it together. As price is expanding towards the region, I call this BSL before, you know, before all of that. In fact, I called it at this point. I'm coming. Let me show you. I called it at this point when price came to this for this other block and printed this daily candle, and I said we're going back to this high. Okay, then after this high, we're coming to this fair value gap. Yeah. Okay, and we trailed the price to that point. Buy sell liquidity clear, and look at when eventually this was the buy sell liquidity, this yellow line, this yellow bulb at this point. Okay, and eventually when it hit the buy sell liquidity, you can see it hit it beautifully right from this point, several pips, and I made money from this trade. I can remember. Okay, and me outlining this was actually that, well, if it continued to move higher, this is the next point of call before we continue higher. All right, and on and on and on like that. Right, on and on and on like that. So really, trading, all right, is something that can change your life forever if you actually take time to learn the very basics. The basics, again, the basics sometimes will take you years, all right, months, years to understand. But once you can understand these things, there's really nothing to worry about anymore. There's nothing to worry about anymore. So when I look at the chart, I'm I'm looking at where I would have engaged price. How would I have engaged price? How would I not have engaged price? And things like that. This particular entry, let me look for it. This particular entry, this was my last trade on a 100k account. I was just playing around. I definitely don't trade for the most part of December into January. On large funds I handle, so just playing around and things like that. Now I remember a lot of people, because there was someone on Twitter that told me how that we were actually expecting price to come feel this point. How were you able to fade this and still had the confidence to trade? Now, and I gave him a very honest response. I said that if I want to be honest with you, I just placed that trade based on intuition. Okay. By the way, we are really pumping hard, and it's very good to see, because this is the next round liquidity, and I believe it's time for the dollar to sell hard, like sell very, very hard. Okay, I believe it's time for dollar to do all of that. All right, but let me continue with my next year. Is going to be a great year, because all the candles, you can see 12 months fiber came to fill the fair value gap. You can see the same things playing out. This came to fill this fair value gap right here. This, then this as well, bought up, okay, bought up and came back down. So really the drawn liquidity is this high first, then this high, okay, a retracement again to continue higher in that sense. The 12-month candle, okay, and you can see 6 months candle. It took the previous 6 months candles low and high. For those in my community, will call that a reversal candle. Okay, a reversal candle. All right, the 3-month time frame as well. It came to hit the monthly order block. All right, the monthly order block. Okay, price came for this monthly order block and sat on it very well, and we're buying up. So the drawn liquidity, we've outlined this drawn liquidity 1.149 for a very long time. Okay, before I get lost in that, let me show you. So how did I engage price that last trade? So I told him, I said, honestly, I was also expecting this point. We were all expecting this point to be filled. And you even see in my chat, on my chat on Twitter, that I'm expecting something like this, all right, to buy. But sometimes, oh, okay, that was you, okay. That sometimes, you're really following me everywhere. Sometimes that price doesn't give you that such efficient move. That the only reason why I took the trade around this point was that I'd seen price rallied up, and from experience, because I've back tested a whole lot on my phone alone, I have over 3,000 flashcards. I created an album for it, so anywhere I see anybody post anything chat related and things like that, I save them, I put it in that album, so I can always go over it again. Why do I do things like that? To reaffirm the same things that I know. So when I see it, I'll be able to easily spot it. Now, I've seen many times price leave a gap unfilled and rally higher instead. And after seeing all of this move, then actually what solidified that conviction was, even though price will still come back, on cable to take the low before buying up, what solidified that conviction was that cable at the time already filled this fair value gap and was buying. So I just felt, well, I've seen this thing happen several times. Most likely it may leave me. Okay, so what would I do? After I saw this, price bought up, came down, took this low, and rallied up around here. So I got in my entries, I got in my first entry around this point. Okay, let me zoom in so you can see clearly. So you say, well, there was really nothing that would have made you getting on that trade. Yes, there was really nothing. It was just experience and intuition. I got in my first entry at this point. I got to my second entry after seeing this, after price came this low and gave this huge, um, this huge 1 hour candle. Got in out more entry, and I said, well, if price was going to come, I didn't put my stops here. It was a mental stop. And I honestly, in my mind, I was like, if price was going to and come lower to fill this BC, I'm going to wait for it and get another entry at this point. So all the while I placed an entry here, I didn't over leverage, I didn't do any of such. My risk was still such that if price had come lower to this point, I was going to still engage price, and then as it keeps going up, had more positions and closing in on my, on my stops intelligently as we move up. So immediately I saw that price wasn't doing any of that, wasn't showing any attempt to come down. Immediately price took this high. That was all the confirmation I needed, and this was the BSL we're targeting. So around this point, I added more entries comfortably, confidently. Right now, I'm sure that a lot of people as well will have been expecting price to come way lower. Okay, the more you backtest, you will see some of these things happen, that when price is closer to a buy side liquidity, sometimes it just feels the opposing array, discount array in this sense now, slightly, and go hit the BSL. Around this point, when I saw all of this consolidation 1 hour candles, okay, then I got in with conviction. In fact, I added more entries around this point. I added very good lot size around this point, okay. And when you paid me, I didn't even wait for all of this. I paid myself immediately at the BSL because I already got in on very good feels, particularly at this region. But I started my entry around this point, and when it broke this structure, I was more convinced, got in very good entries, and that really was it. Now, if I was waiting for, well, price was still going to come back to this point, I would have missed the trade, like most of you missed the trade. And that was really how that went. Well, what made me take that trade? Experience, intuition. But you don't go on trying to say, well, I just feel to take the trade without experience at the back of it, without good or sound understanding at the back of it. Okay, because you may, if you don't act based on your conviction in the market, you're going to suffer for it. Because what happens to periods when the markets go against you, it destabilizes you immediately, particularly when you don't have conviction at the back of what you're doing. Okay, all right. Now, the same thing that Romeo did, I saw a trade and traded, very good trade. Wisdom actually already analyzed all of this. We were not new to any of this in the community. I'll show you. Wisdom, very good trader. Very good trader. I mean, I'm blessed with the community I have. Okay, because sometimes when these guys just share their chat, I'm taken aback, and we just catch cruise. Yeah, this is Wisdom. Shout out to you, Wisdom. Trading isn't for the weak at heart, never will be, obviously, right? Very, very good trader. He has so simplified his trading. He manages over $200,000 capital, you can see. Yeah, and yeah, he's a very, very disciplined trader. I can vouch for him. All right, so I'm telling you that all of that happened on Fiber was not new to us. We knew that ahead of time, and we were literally expecting it. Maybe I may find it, maybe I may not find it. I'm trying to look for it now. Yeah, Okay, yeah, this was all right. The more you backtest, the more it does make sense to you. You'll be able to see these things ahead of time. Now, this was Wisdom's. He said, EU DXY, I smell high probability conditions. We have not had these in weeks. Let's go. Dylan is another crazy fellow. Let's go. All right. So, and then he shared all of that. Blah, 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 blah. Order flow bullish. Okay. Shared it nicely. A lot of people were still expecting price to come to this point. Immediately price did all of this. This was a balanced price range. Also, you know, an IFVG could also serve as an IFVG, and then it did all of those breakdown. Okay. EU on the daily time frame bearish. Okay, bearish to come take this fair value gap in line with the IFVG on the monthly and all of that. So it did all of those breakdown, things like that, and so we already knew ahead of time that price was going to buy for fiber and sell for dollar. Now let's go back to the chart. Okay, so you can see my balanced price range here. All right, see this. This wasn't traded into, all right, and then before this long week, it wasn't traded into as well. So we had the balanced price range on the monthly, beautiful, and then on the weekly time frame, I already told the committee members ahead of time, this is the invalidation that takes price to sell downwards. And I'm not trying to loud my horn. Okay, I know really what I'm doing, and yes, and I'm very good at it. I know really what I'm doing. I'm good at it. I told my committee members the only thing that will make me see lower prices, all right, to this low is if price comes to take this low. That this coincides with the balanced price range on the monthly, this green box, and this is a weekly fair value. You can see the BC on the weekly, beautiful. Okay, and this was the invalidation. This was the weekly on the BC. And so when you go to the daily time frame, you can see on the daily time frame within the weekly on the BC, within that balanced price range. So price sold to the balanced price range. And if you remember very clearly, this was FOMC. It was a Wednesday. But before FOMC, there was already an indication that we're going to buy up. Okay, and where was that indication? There was a change in state of delivery. So within the 4-hour time frame, price actually came to take this high. See, price came to take this high. All right, change in state of delivery. All right. So change in state of delivery. Boom, came back, consolidated for some hours just before FOMC, and boom, that was a rally. Okay, that was a rally. Now, I personally don't advise people to trade FOMC, but we were already in anticipation that FOMC really should just push price up and nothing more, because all the confluence aligns. It is not news then the chart. No, the chart already has its intended direction. The news is just to inject volatility into the market. Okay, it's just to inject volatility into the market, and that's really how fiber started buying. So we had said that ahead of time, that the only thing that should make fiber sell is if it comes to take the invalidation. And anywhere you see X on my chart, it just means that that's my invalidation, X. And you can see all and on like that. So into next year, what's going to happen next year? Oh, beautiful. We already know ahead what's going to happen. Where's the next drawn liquidity? If price sold this much, the very next drawn liquidity is this point at first. Right? That's the next drawn liquidity. Does it make sense? Beautiful. That's the next drawn liquidity. All right, so if that's the next drawn liquidity, it means I just need to look for a retracement. All right, a retracement to continue buying. All right. So however price books, so if it gives me a candle this way, continue buying, leaves a fair value gap around here, all right, and comes back down to the fair value gap and reclaim it and buy back up. Boom, that's my entry. stops, the stop loss, entry, retrace back into it, continue buying. Boof, you can see now. Beautiful. I'm sure you love my fine art, right? You can draw better than this, I'm sure. Yeah. So, still the same basics. Okay? The same basics. Right? The same basics. So, again, next year, you're going to do well next year by having the right belief system. Okay? If you have a poor belief system, if you don't believe that you can actually make money in trading, you never will make money in trading. If you don't believe that you're going to do well in 2024, you never will do well in 2024, because your mind is that powerful. Yeah, your mind is that powerful. 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 Very powerful. Look at what I just explained, and look at how we had known ahead of time, even before the sell to this point and the rally back. If you don't have enough balls, you wouldn't engage the trade. You wouldn't engage the trade. You wouldn't engage the trade. Yeah, I haven't forgotten your question, Abraham. I haven't forgotten. All right, you wouldn't engage the trade. And look at it, beautiful. This is a very good swing trade. All right, this is already 350 pips, right from where we outlined it, exactly where we outlined it, into the weekly fair value gap, with coinciding with the balanced price range and the monthly, and on like that. You can see the move to the upside. Yeah. All right, and this is the way of the wolf. This is the way of the wolf. This is the way of the wolf. All right, this is the way of the wolf. So personally now, I don't expect price to come back to this point. With what I see, I rather expect price to continue buying. Everything is all well balanced. Just a retracement maybe to this point. All right, for a continued buy. That's at best. A retracement to continue buy. All right. So I believe that you can very much see how these things are on repeat, and how that your greatest enemy, if you don't do things rightly, if you're not backtesting, how will you even have the confidence? I see how I showed you 1985, 1986, 1987, 1988, and look at how price has been respecting the same things. If you believe you make money in 2024, your mind will only have one choice: to adapt to your beliefs and experience a life where you make money. Mohammed. That's a very good quote. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. That's true. That's true. You know, I'm going to meet some of my students in Dubai next year. Actually, I'm meeting Mohammed, for example, in Dubai next year. Yes, very, very good trader. Very, very good trader. You know, some people have worked for it and they hand it. There's some people I know, they hand it. Dylan, they hand it. Very, very good traders. Very, very good traders. Very, very good traders. Right. So, let me get to the questions because I'm beginning to round up. How do you spot market structure shift in weekly and daily time frames? Abraham, go watch the live stream 1 and 2. I've explained that. Since price is fractal, can I also use the concept of the weekly reversal and daily reversal candle on 4 and 1 hour? Absolutely, yes, you can. So if you see let me show you a 4-hour reversal candle now. Just so, yes, you can. You can. Only that the reason why we stay on the daily and weekly is that the daily and the weekly offers more. When you see a daily reversal candle, a reversal candle on the daily time frame, it gives more significance than your 4-hour time frame. And because if you backtest well enough, you'll be able to tell. Look at this now. This is a 4-hour reversal candle. Took the previous candle's low and high, okay, and it didn't come back to take the low anymore. The only reason why that could be because it's already in the line of the IUF, and then you can see that it rallied to the upside. If that was not the case, we're still going to sell. Even if you have a daily reversal candle and it's not in line of the IUF, it will fail. All right, and that's why the first thing is your IUF. Once you determine your IUF, every candle patterns that now you can now see and all of that, it very much makes sense. But you can also have a bullish IUF, okay, and you have a 4-hour bullish reversal candle, and yet price still goes back to fill a discount daily array before buying up. So that's why I personally stay with daily weekly. When I see it on my weekly, that's a more stronger confirmation. And I'll show you an example on fiber, and rather on the dollar, for instance. You can see this move. Look for it. Yes, I can see it. Look at this. Look at this candle. Took the previous candle's high faintly and took the low faintly. But look at the next candle. A huge sell. A huge sell. Over 300 pips. A huge sell. Do you understand that now? Yes. So the next question. If price goes into internal liquidity, which may be an FVG, what reaction can I anticipate to happen if it intends to go back to ERL or keep going in another direction? If price goes into an internal liquidity, an FVG, all right, wait for a reaction that shows that price is buying. All right. Several things can happen, and I can't necessarily tell you all the scenarios that will happen because there are several scenarios that can happen. This will happen as you backtest yourself. So when price is selling into a fair value gap, several things could happen. You can have something like this: 1 2 1 2 rally. So price still within the fair value gap, took the lows, bought up, took the highs, changed the state of delivery, came back for retracement and rally. That could pan out. Several things could also happen is that price could just as well start retracing back. All right, and if price start retracing back, I wouldn't take the first retracement. I will wait for the second one that shows a confirmation break structure, and I will engage, put my stops here, and rally to the upside. Several things could also happen, such as price buying in, okay, price buying after filling the fair value gap and still selling down, okay, and then closing and consolidating a bit and go up, come back down, all right, and continue buying. If it's a bullish IF, a lot of things could happen. Do you understand? So the most important thing is being patient, looking at your daily and weekly time frame, precisely. So if price is coming to a fair value gap on a daily time frame, wait for that confirmation that shows that it's now bullish again before you engage. All right, before you engage, I wish I could have an example. Okay, I think I do have an example. So you look at this one as well. You can see that when price got to this is a weekly fair value gap, mind you. Look at this high and this low. When price got to this weekly fair value gap, all right, look at this first daily candle that got in. You could as well have said, well, it's time to buy, and it will have napped you here. And as well, say it's time to buy, it will have napped you here. Time to buy, napped you here. Time to buy, you can see this isn't sufficient enough. It still napped you here. But until price printed those candles and eventually gave this was that change in state of delivery. So this created the swing high that you then be looking for to, if price is going to take this high before you're actively now looking for buy candles. And that was what necessarily actually happened. Okay, so how many people will be patient enough to wait to see all of these happen? 1 2 3 4. That's 4 days of no trading before a confirmation of in the state of delivery before the rally to the upside. Now that's one of the things that a lot of traders are very, very immature in their decision making, and this is what really harms traders. This is what really harms traders. There's a whole lot that goes into trading rightly, okay, and for the most part of it, patience is a lot of that. Okay, so I've answered your questions, Abraham. Okay, I'll move to the next. All right. So I have some questions here. Can I outline GU daily time frame? Yeah, GU is bullish, very bullish, because the dollar is bearish. So GU is bullish. All right. So this was a fair value gap that. This was a fair value gap that GU got to. Monthly fair value gap, and sold back down. Okay, and this was an SMT together with dollar and fiber. I remember posting it on the channel. If you really follow me, you would see these things are on repeat, and these things are said way beforehand. Okay, try and look for it. I think I've gone way ahead. Gosh. SMT. Okay, yes, good. So I shared this December 1. Okay, you can see the SMT with this was dollar. Okay, you can see this was fiber gave that low, but cable didn't give that low. So cable was meant to actually come lower, okay, respecting dollars move higher, but it didn't give that low. So I mentioned SMT here, ponder on this as we close, and yeah, it's ringing true now, okay, that we have such move rallying. So this is GBP USD. This is a move now. Price it came to respect the balanced price range. You can see this point, this fair value gap not trying to on this one. So price just dipped into it and rallied to the upside, dipped into it. So at the point it was a CB. Now, okay, a balanced price range on the monthly, all right, in that sense. So if we go a weekly time frame, so price really just dipped into the balanced price range, okay, and rallying. And within the balanced price range, this was a fair value gap on a weekly time frame. So price dipped into it and it gave this huge retracement. So you can see the next weekly candle was a contraction, and then the next one rallied. So where's the drawn liquidity? First, the drawn liquidity is this high, all right. Second drawn liquidity, okay, on weekly time frame, second drawn liquidity this high. Then the third drawn liquidity, this monthly fair value gap. So this high first, all right, this volume imbalance next, okay, and this, all right, bunch of fair value at this point and above. Okay, does this make sense? Then ultimately, if we go back to the monthly time frame, we are looking at this high, then this BSL, and higher prices. So the first drawn liquidity, all right, is the volume imbalance on the weekly. Then from the volume imbalance on the weekly, then this high into this monthly fair value. Does that make sense? All right. So Samuel, I've answered your question. Okay, T trades, very interesting in what you do first when you open the chart. If our analysis starts the same way. So what I do first when I hop in the chart, I check the monthly, weekly, daily, and that's really all about it. Because of my experience, I don't really do so much. I've done many of those things in the past, and that's one of the beauty of accumulating your learning. It gets to a point that you don't really need to look for much. I check the monthly, weekly, daily, where price is moving to, where price is coming from. Then I check the calendar. Okay, so I don't trade Monday normally. So Monday is my off day. I go to the gym like 4 times a week, with Monday a very necessary part. I listen to podcasts and things like that. So from Monday down till from Monday, I check the news calendar from Tuesday downwards. All right, so if we don't have news on Tuesday, most likely sometimes I may not trade Tuesday. All right, and sometimes if I see a good price action setup, I will trade. Do you understand? Because the understanding of news is that it inject volatility. So we don't try to avoid the news in that sense. We just see news as injecting volatility into the market, and that's pretty much about it. So chandelier, first one, you said you check the close of the daily, weekly, and monthly candle. What perspective does this insight gives you? Obviously, when you check the daily candle, well, one of the things you do this at the end of every month, you check the monthly candle. At the end of every week, you check the weekly candle. At the end of every day, you check the daily candle. When you do these things, you're reminding yourself how the candle closes. For example, every week closes, I check the weekly candle, how it forms. It helps to prepare my mind for what is likely to happen. What is likely to happen? Oh, I'm already looking at, okay, well, this is how the weekly, for example, now, I am not a frequent trader of GU, but if I see this, having feel this point into the BPR and gave this huge, that's a breaker structure for me, okay? And if I see this point, pan out, and then I see this indecisive candle, then the very next week, that is this week, I know that we're going to be bullish. All right, this is an indecisive candle closed above this, the last 2 weeks weekly close, then I know that yes, it's about time to rally. Okay, rally to the upside. That's a very bullish one. And so price really just came to fill the fair value gap. All right, and this was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, indecisive. All right, so Tuesday didn't trade. So Monday didn't trade rather. So Tuesday, Wednesday is going to be a continuation to the upside because the previous weekly candle was an indecisive candle. Now, one of the things why you do that is to strengthen your conviction of what is currently happening in the marketplace. To strengthen your conviction. So when you see price actually pan out that way, oh, this is what the weekly time frame is saying. Sometimes you can see so much move around on the hourly 15-minute time frame and you're confused. Go back to the daily, run back to the daily, run back to the weekly. So it takes time for those time frames to form, and then it also reminds you that even when there's so much noise on the lower time frame, you can as well hold on to your conviction. Oh, this is what I know will happen because I can see it from a higher time frame perspective. So it's almost as though you're looking at price with an eagle eye, okay, and seeing what is likely to happen. So I hope that answers your question. The second one, what platform on TradingView do you use for your analysis or markup? Well, anything you see here now is what I use. On the dollar, I use TVC. TVC here, all right, and then yes, on other prices I use FXCM. On gold I use Oanda. Yes, Oanda. All right, and so that's pretty much it. Does it really count? But yeah, that's pretty much it. Then third, can I pay for the monthly subscription to join your channel? Quarterly, as I don't like recurrent expenditure, and would there be any discount, please? Okay, so I was going to talk about this. There is now I think I shared that. You can now join the community for a very few amount, for a very less amount, and we decided to make it monthly so that people can join at a very low cost and they can save up for it in that sense on a monthly basis. All right, you can see here there are over 270 videos. All right, in here several videos. You can just search, go in and watch actually at your convenience within a month. Okay, so you have access to all of this. Then there's the Discord server. Aside from the live stream, all right, price called way ahead of time. You see some of those trade reviews I do on Twitter. You see, oh, and we're going through a trade idea, and I'll post the trade idea. This is what I'm looking at, and how price should move, and then price will eventually go in that direction. Okay, there are many subs on Twitter, and one of those subs is that if your mentor can't call price before it moves, then you don't have a mentor. At least, well, you can beat your chest that you have seen me do this more often than not in my free Telegram channel, all right, and on Twitter way before it does happen, right, demonstrating understanding, because most of these things can be faked. Results can be faked. MT4 server can be faked. I could even show you I'm managing 200 million and I'm just partnering with a broker to get more people using their platform. A lot of things can be faked, but understanding can't be faked, and that's one thing that can't be faked. Understanding way before the fact, it can't be faked. All right, so there's an opportunity to join the community, and this is the Discord. You can see several. This is going to be the sub 50, so it is titled sub 50 chat room, testimonials, announcement, homework. It's a price action study where I post different price action chart of different peers and all of that. And these things are greatly going to enhance your learning. They're going to greatly enhance your learning. And one of the things that advice is that you send a message to the team support, not me, teamjoe57@gmail.com. All right, and these are the member chats where members can post their thoughts as well. Daily bias, this daily bias is just for everything daily. All right, DXY, forex, oil indices, and all of that. Okay, then there's the study aspect. There are videos. All right, Mindspace, resources, books, podcasts, seminars, interviews, meditation, psych mindset, and this music library is just for me alone, where I share music that resonates with me. And just if you love the music, you want to this is psychology. We have a lot of resources in the community that you can actually take advantage of. Several books that can help you, that can change your life forever, and things like that. Just the little things because trading literally exposes you to yourself. If you don't want to learn trading the right way, you would burn out, because you'll begin to see so much of greed in you that you didn't know was in you, that you now need to actually realign, or you exit. It's either you realign and work on that greed, or you exit. And that's one of the things that trading does. Okay, it changes you entirely. Okay, Okay, so so we made it easy for people to join the platform. Unfortunately, it is $50 per month and $500 per year, or you could even opt for the lifetime. The lifetime is $2,750. all right, but at the moment, till the end of the payment in January, that's January 7th, is going for $2,000. That's the live. If you want to pay such that for life, it's a lifetime fee. You don't have to pay any amount against $2,000. $50 per month, very, very easy to pay, and $500 per year. So even if you want to pay per quarter now, you still have to pay $150. You still have to pay $150. It used to be $100 per quarter before, but we stopped doing that. Okay, now it's $50 per month and $150 per quarter. Okay, and $500 per year. Actually, there is no plan for quarterly payments. Right, so if at all you want to pay 3 months ahead, you will have to pay $150. Okay, and $500 per year, $2,750 for a lifetime, but it's going to be $2,000 till January 7th. So that's about that, Chandelier. Let me know if that resonates with you. Okay, so if you get a confirmation to head bullish after heading for internal liquidity and price takes the entry out, what do you wait for to know if it's still ending in line with IF? I stay on the time frame that gives me the bias. So let's assume that this is my structure on the weekly time frame. Okay, and price within this place still pushes up higher, and maybe I taking a trade that I want this to sell and it takes me out. The fact that it has not taken this high, I will still remain bearish. So I would just be patient again to check my daily time frame to align with this to give me another bearish signal to engage. I will stay on that time frame. I will stay on that time frame, okay, that I got my bearish IUF from, and I won't change that till that invalidation is hit. All right, so the same way, all of this, let's assume I even plan to take a trade right here and it took me out. I won't become bearish. That's a mistake a lot of newbie traders make. I wouldn't become bearish immediately because this is my invalidation. So I would rather wait. Okay, right. First, nothing should make you take trade here because you've seen a bullish candle. Okay, I'd rather wait. Okay, to see price actually move in my direction. Okay, and then engage. So let's assume I even took a trade here because anything could happen in trading as well. All right, these impulses, these are things we have to fight. It's a demon we have to always fight. And then I took a trade and it took me out on Friday. I'd rather wait again to see price move my direction and then engage again in a bullish direction. I wouldn't change my invalidation. I wouldn't change my bias because I've been taken out. My invalidation is still this point, and I got that from the weekly time frame in line with the BPR on the monthly and all of that. Does that make sense to you, man? All right. So there's so many things to talk about that I can't talk about now. How do you work on your execution? Psychology wise in trade in the early stage of it. All right. Don't over leverage. Trade very little. If you're afraid to trade, you will never make money. And so if you're afraid to trade, what you do reduce your lot size. Start trading with 0.5% risk, 0.25, 0.3, 0.5% risk. So that way, if you place trades, you won't be scared to lose the money. But if you're still scared placing a trade of 0.25 or 0.5%, then trading is not for you. Go start selling pizza, okay? But if trading is for you and you want to make it work for you, all right, reduce your risk. Don't over leverage. 0.25, 0.5%. Okay, and that's just what will change that for you. Also, you like to catch high and low of the week. So one trade with higher risks. No, that is gambling. You are not going to make it in trading. In fact, that's the fastest way to not make it. Do you understand now? So don't bother catching the high or low of the weeks. Just bother trying to trade well. All right, don't try to want to catch the high and low of the week so that you can increase your risk. All right, you may feel that you have caught the high or the low of the week, and then it really crashes down on you, and you lose so much because you have risked so much. All right, don't bother doing all of that. Just bother trading well, okay, and you'll be fine. All right, about risk management and psychology, I've said everything. I've been posting it as well on my Twitter. I've been posting on my Telegram. There's really nothing new. Nothing new. Read McDouglas Trading the Zone. Read McDouglas Discipline Trader. All right, you will get a full bucket of it. The issue most times, now I'm not talking about you. The issue most times for most people is that people naturally are lazy. So when you even refer people to go and do something or do this, they likely mostly don't do it. They mostly don't do it. All right, they just want tidbits. Now, again, I'm not talking about you, John. I'm not talking about you. I'm just saying generally. All right, there's really nothing new. There's nothing new. All right, it's still the same grind, and it's still the same grind that brings money to the table. There's really nothing new. All right. So what's my opinion on trading synthetic index? There's nothing there. It's still the same chat. It's just that I don't advise traders, newbies, to start trading synthetic index because it's very volatile. You can lose your capital way faster than you can in the forex market. All right, start out with something that gives you that is not fast paced, that is not too volatile, and is consistent. And so over time, when you have so much capital, when you have, let's say you have $50,000 for instance, you can take $5K to synthetic index because you have way more than that. When you have $10,000, you can take $1,000 to synthetic index because you have good money. Don't take your only $500 on your only on $1,000 and you want to take it to synthetic index so that you can take the $1,000 to $10,000. Most often than not, you lose the $1,000, right? So Joe is tired and I have to go. Yeah, I have to go now. Thank you so much, everyone, for being a part of this. Yeah, thank you so much for being a part of this. Okay, and that's really it. There's nothing new in the trading space. There's nothing new. I hope I was able to answer your questions. There's nothing new. All right, so once again, if you want to join the community, like I said very clearly, so just message the team support, teamjoe57@gmail.com, and they are going to reply your questions and all of that. And if you've sent a message already, you don't need to send anyone. I already said that those who have sent a message, the team support will be live from the 28th of December to reply everyone, payments and all that. So again, if you want to join per quarter, it's still $150. If you want to pay monthly, it's $50. Okay, if you want to pay yearly, $500. Okay, that saves you $100. And if you want to join the lifetime, it's still $750, but you could pay $2,000 till January 7th. All right, most times, because of the enormous activity I have to do on my desk, I even try to run away from the lifetime, because if you see a very good trader, they make more money from the market than from mentoring. If you see a very good trader, they'll tell you that mentoring actually stresses more than trading, because you have to attend to people, you have to produce videos. If you don't produce videos, people will gaslight you. If people fail as well, they will blame it on you. You see so much mentoring done, and people still come and tell you that you are not doing anything good, you are just a wicked person and things like that. So I mean, a good trader knows that making tens of thousands of dollars in the market is more, it gives more peace of mind than what mentorship will give you. I promise you that you make a lot of money. If you know what you're doing, you make good money from the market and you're proud of it. All right, it's not even me trying to convince you how that I'm not a good trader. I don't need to do that. My fruits abound. My fruit abound. It's everywhere. Okay. So thank you so much, guys, for being a part of this. Yeah, Mercy, I see you. You've been following me from day one. Source one, original source one. I can see you. I'm checking your display picture now. You're the one who told me smart man. All right. It's good to have you. It's good to have you. When an external high is taken and no internal, all right, dial back to lower time frames to see where price will retrace to, and then trade accordingly. All right. These questions most times people ask. When you go to your chart and back test, you will see all of these questions there, and you will be able to you will see how price booked, okay, and see how eventually delivered. So most of these questions, when you back test, you will see your answers there. Finally, there is going to be a monthly trading challenge. Okay, monthly trading challenge next year, February 1. Okay, so I urge all of you to be a part of it. It's just $500 of your money, but you could make up to $10,000. Okay, me in line with CWG were hosting that. Okay, so the highest in percentage will make the no, you don't need to send a chat. I'm done already. It's fine. I already explained. All right, so in line with CWG, we're hosting that. Okay, so the highest in percentage will win. All right, so there's prize, real money for the first, the second, and the third, depending on the number of people that are part of it. The first, $10,000, the second, $5,000, then the third, $3,000. All right, and the minimum requirement is to fund with $500, so you can always prepare ahead of that. Okay, that's going to be in February 1. It's going to start February 1. It's going to last for a month. All right, so yeah, guys, thanks so much for your time. The rest we'll set in order. Next year, you know what to put your attention on. Focus. That's your greatest asset. The market will always book with the same things. Nothing is new. I took you back to 1985, 1986, and nothing is new. Okay, nothing is new. All right, I love you so much, guys. Happy New Year in advance.